Hey everybody, Randy here with Stay Broke Business Consulting. Welcome to day 16 of building $1 million business in 1 year. Today we have some meetings lined up. We're meeting with our web designer. He's coming back in to show us with where he's at. Mainly look at the layout of the page and make sure we're all on the same page with it and start to look at content. We'll take you along for that meeting. And then also last week we were really focused on Jack Stables and the Barn Bash, and the whole team was putting a lot of time and effort into helping that be a success. So now we need to regroup. We're going to talk a little bit about how the event went, what we did good, what we could have done better, and then also look at our overall business plan, making sure that we're still on track for our goals, and make sure everybody's on the same page. We have 3 different sectors that we're trying to make sure are working cohesively. And the only way to really do that is have these kind of touching base meetings to make sure everybody's on the same page. So follow along with us today, and I hope you enjoy.
Okay, so photos are placeholders, all
Right.
placeholders. We can get creative. We can even have background videos similar to, and I had some background videos in there earlier. I can show you what that looks like. So again, the structure here is pretty straightforward, right? We have your main kind of header, hero area, the logo here. I wanted to ask you, are you guys set with the vertical format logo, or do you want to see one where we make this a little tighter and less tall, and the logo has like the safe and then Stay Broke Business Consulting to the right of that as well? Do you have a second option?
No, this is the only direction we went with it.
Okay, is that how you want to keep it?
I mean, we're trying to go for a certain feel with it and the characters, but
Oh, so the characters are part of the logo? Or part? So I took them out,
yeah.
but
So
are they part of that?
we keep them as part of it. They don't have to be, but whenever, like on this shirt,
Right.
we're doing it, but when we get our other shirts made, it's going to be the character and the logo. With our header, it's the characters with the logo in the center. So we're kind of putting it all together. They're all supposed to be kind of working together, but they can also
Gotcha.
be separated too. Like we put the characters some places and like,
But those
Right.
those characters,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
but too, if you're trying to make a logo bigger or wider, then just throw the characters on with it. And now you got a wider.
yeah, well, I guess what I meant by that was that if you have it, see in this case the logo is tall, right? So on a screen it may be a little bit harder to read, especially the Stay Broke. Now I'm going to mention this just because a lot of times designers, believe it or not, are not thinking about, especially if it's like an international designer, they're not thinking about accessibility and that type of things. Just keep in mind that somebody that may have a slight visual impairment or are color blindness may find it difficult to read the Stay Broke within the red. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And there's more people out there than you imagine having difficulty. So consider either reversing this and making it white so the white pops off the red, or something, or making the red white or whatever it is. Just keep that in
And we're
mind.
not locked into the colors either. Like I created all this with chat.
Mhm.
So I did all this. And it's
Okay.
just where I landed. I liked the direction we were heading with it, and but the colors we're not stuck
Yeah.
with. The tan came about, or the off-white came about because that's how it prints out its logos. And like that's just how that happened. I like the little bit of color down at the
Agreed.
bottom,
Mhm.
but we're not attached to any of these colors.
Okay, perfect.
What we're trying to figure out right now is we want to create a QR code that we can put on our shirts and put on everything, and essentially with that landing page idea, whether it's a video or whatever it is that's going to quickly explain what the business is.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find something, and I don't know, we're trying to figure out what we want that QR code to be on the back of the shirt. You know what I mean? If we want it to go to a video, or, we want something that'll be easy to see what we do, how we do it really quick.
Here's an example of the landing page, right? They've even removed navigation. Now, I'm not saying we have to do that at your site, but it's very clear their call to actions. They don't want, this is what they want you to do, right? There's not a lot of distractions or buttons or things taking you away from, okay? Very, very, very tailored to getting people to click here. And it's usually, there it is, your lead opt-in, right? That's going to be, ultimately your lifeline. As you create new pages, you want people, your email list to grow so that, especially with doing all the podcasting and everything, get that your email list is going to be.
So it's like a get started button, like.
Right. So, and then what do you expect them to, like that main call to action for that particular page?
Yeah.
Setting that expectation. And then these individual pages right here might be fine just to, when you go to see business consulting, like if I were to click on this, which is under services, we have, business consulting, and then these could be, right now, this is just, placeholder boxes. And all the other services pages, because we don't have a copy of that, all have a similar kind of feel. Down the road, the biggest impact you're going to get is when you can get case study type testimonials where it says, man, this is what happened. I saw a 25% increase in revenue, or I was able to save, this money this year, where last year I was bleeding money the whole year. Like things like that, where it's actual tactile, like evidence of your services,
But
right?
our immediate can be the transition testimony.
Yeah,
which
just
can
to get
always
something, and then after
evolve
we're with them
into-
for a year, a full year, then we can ask them to do another one.
Right.
And then something else that's evolved, I don't know if you've been seeing our content online, but has evolved since we started this is, we're building $1 million business in 1 year, and we're doing a video every day for it. So I don't want our website to turn into something gimmicky where it's turning people away, but I also want that to be highlighted somewhere, where we can try and drive traffic to that.
Okay. Yeah. So, and those things are also can be used. Like, you can find it like an about us or mission or goal or all those things. And it shows. It's almost like proof is in the pudding, right?
Yeah.
Like, look what we did in 1 year. We turned around. But the concern there, I'm just out there, is what happens to that statement if within 1 year you didn't reach the million? I'm just throwing that out there. Or do you not keep it on there and then after a year say, hey, 0 to 1 million plus within 1 year? Like, just think through that. Okay.
Either way, we're gonna highlight what we did.
Mhm.
Like, if somehow it doesn't work, which is unacceptable, then we're gonna have to own that and say, all right, here's what we did right, here's what we did wrong, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And still highlight it. But when we hit $1 million at the end of 1 year, then we're gonna be like, look, we did it.
Good, yeah.
We did it in our market, starting a new business. Like, so
You can do it.
Yeah,
We can
so,
help.
because we're doing, day 5, day 6, every single day we're gonna have
Great.
a video.
And that's I have the links on here. We'll definitely want to make sure so I want to make sure that I have all the links going to the right places. Yeah, I do. So these are all ready. Okay, so the business consulting, and I have just something to consider. I might have a copy of that where you can stay here. You can stay here. This is a framework that I saw that I really liked. Have you guys ever heard of StoryBrand? So this is my own customer profile stuff, my own notes here. But so the StoryBrand framework, something to consider when building out some of this copy. So there's 7 parts in this framework. And what the StoryBrand framework does is they say that your customer is the hero. They consider them the hero. So if you listen to the podcast, it's the StoryBrand podcast. You'll hear hero makers just because they're making their clients a hero, right? So there's a character who's the ideal customer, right? There's a problem that person has. So, and usually it's an external problem, which is something tangible, like software keeps crashing. An internal problem, which is a frustration or emotional result, like I'm feeling overwhelmed, stupid, and philosophical problems, like the moral reason, like no one should have to struggle. And they're talking about how you should always sell to the internal problem, right? What is that person actually struggling with, and not like the software's crushed. That's not what you're selling for, because you can fix the software, but you're trying to sell for those pain points, right? So you're meeting a guide, and so you want to be able to show empathy and obviously authority. The plan. So here's the process, the agreement, call to action. I can send this to you so you have this to review because this is a really good framework that has really been shown positive to convert people to be like, hey, this is right for me. So I'll make sure to send that to you.
So it's almost kind of like with this newer client I have that's going to call us later this week about their bookkeeping services. They're looking for guidance on best practices and to develop something. So that's their issue.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the problem they're having. They want a guidance on best practices to move forward. Not along with bookkeeping service as well, but they want to.
Right. And I would probably come up and ask them, say, hey, so why are you searching? Well, why are you searching for guidance?
Mm-hmm.
Because then the more whys we ask, we get to the deeper issue, like what is the true underlying problem, right? And that's what we want to get to. Because if we can pinpoint that and write to that, that's going to have the most, the strongest connection with that target audience.
Okay.
And I think that as we go through this, one of the things that you find in marketing, and people do this all the time, is most of the business owners that I talk to, they're not marketers, right? They don't write. They know their features and their features and their benefits. And what I'm trying to shift it is say, hey, let's sell solutions. And that's what you guys want to do is we're selling the solution, but we also do want to talk to those effects of like the features and benefits, right? So again, business strategy, field management, these are features. These would be, and this isn't something that you provide, and this is something that I put together using check and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. But these are not, these are features. And what we want to do is we want to go into solution minded so that when somebody gets to this page, they say, these people are offering the solutions that I need to contact them. But within the solutions are these key elements. So we can expand on that. All the testimonials, the call to action, again, nice images and stuff like that. We can make this pop more. And then common questions. So pre-framing objections is really important. I'm really big on that. Like if you can, let's answer the questions that may be preventing them from actually moving forward. So that when you're on the call with them, they either have that idea, or if you need to, you can refer to it in your call, your sales calls with them. If somebody says, hey, how can I get started? Well, whatever the approach is, we include it here. And actually, I would probably include like a call to action button here. So as I do the QA of the content, I'll look at these things like, where can we have different points throughout the site where we're actually guiding the reader to do what we want them to do. So we'll look at all the copy, make sure it's optimized, obviously for SEO, and then make sure those call to actions are in place. This is a placeholder once we're done with the layout and the colors and everything that's finalized, and I do all my QA, you're going to see everything be tightened up.
Yeah. Can I tell you something that, I don't know, maybe this will help describe what I'm looking for. Go back to one of those other
Services?
one of the other pages that you just pulled up. One of the other those ladies.
Podcast.
The other ladies' websites that you just pulled.
Yes.
Yeah. See, like hers and the other one too. They tell me that. Like to both of these, what I see when I would never hire one of these because to me that's going to be people that are overly educated coming in to tell me what they learned in school. Like that's how I perceive that, and I want ours to feel like hands-on. Like that when you hire us, we're not going to be sitting in a nice soft environment, like trying to hold your hand and teach you how to do things. It's like no, we want to get our hands dirty, work alongside you kind of thing. And I don't know how to portray that, but like, this is what I see when I see these sites. It's like so soft and like, I don't know if that makes sense.
So I'm going to say, I do think that that's intended to be the target audience.
Right.
And then particularly women in this case. So when you look at, one of the things that's interesting, when you look at the people client results, let's see, directory, look at this. Wait, So, Sarah, well, let me share the right one. Certified experts. These are the people. There's not a single man in this picture.
Right.
And these are all her certified experts. So it tells me either she's targeting women, and some of that could be, again, the feel. She's done the right job of identifying
Her clientele.
her persona. Yes.
I get it.
A lot of women want to relate to other women in those industries.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
So
I,
that's what her target is, yeah.
and I
But for
get
us,
that.
like,
I just want to make sure that we don't go that direction,
Like-
which I don't think we are now, but I'm just,
for me, an ideal picture of like what we do, like to me as a bookkeeper, would be me standing there with a clipboard helping somebody with their SOPs in a manufacturing setting in a plant. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like you're saying, it would be me involved in their
Mhm.
day-to-day business, helping
Yeah.
them, not, like sitting on a couch.
So here's what I would do if it was my situation. The look and feel of it.
like,
It's gonna-
for him, he's getting out of a truck, he's holding a broom, there's a lawnmower, you know what I mean? Like, it's action,
Yeah.
right? He is out in the field,
Yes. Yeah.
And
showing
that's-
you how to operate.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
We need those images,
Right.
right? And so that's how you're going to get that feel. But also to your point is if you don't have those images yet, that's where using the language actually says, hey, and like I'd be as blunt as possible. We're not here to do this. We are physically going to be in the trenches with you to do this. Like whatever
Yeah.
language it is, and it can be powerful language like that. Like, hey, we'll get in the trenches with you to do this. This is not
Yeah,
me
like-
coming in with a bunch of Word documents for you to study, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like us going and doing an inventory and cleaning it up, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that. We have things that we would do to,
And I think it's important to say that, right? And not leave that, not miss on that opportunity, you know?
because I don't feel like you can, because I don't, from my perspective, from an accounting perspective, I can't give guidance on accounting SOPs if I don't get in there and actually walk through their facility and sit where they're sitting a day, because it's hard to develop an SOP without seeing their on-site operations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we can stage pictures. That's not a problem. I just need, like, I'm not a website guy. Like, I don't refer to websites for things. Like, my mind doesn't compute that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, but if you give us that layout and I can actually see it, now I can go in and fix the language to what I want, and I can create pictures for those spots.
Yeah.
But for me to just like be like, oh, let's get a picture of this and find a place and build the website around this, like I can't.
And I think that's. I've had customers contact me and say, "Hey, Mike," and I've worked with agencies where they say, "Mike, design something nice, and I'll add the copy to it." And to me, that's putting the cart before the horse, right? What that means is that particular person, it was usually the account executives for the agencies, they wanted it easier, and by seeing the pictures, it's easier to create the copy. And to me, that's completely reverse. Your message, your strategy, when you're communicating is paramount. It's going to be the most important thing that you do, and all your graphics support that. So just something to keep in mind.
Pictures come later, the words of the photos right now.
Right. Because you can have a website that doesn't have any photos, but has the right message communicate and be an effective website.
So that's what I'm saying. I need the words. Like, if I can figure out what we're trying to get across in that area,
Mhm.
what you're setting us up to try and get across in each area, I can make little, like I said, little tweaks to the
Yeah.
words so that it's my words coming out. But then we can create a photo that embodies those
Perfect.
words.
Awesome.
But I need the outline to be
Yeah.
able to do that. You know what I mean?
Like these
Or more
photos.
than an outline. Like, I need like what you're giving us. Like, I need that, and then I can
Mm-hmm.
now tell you, well, here's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You know, and here's how we can express that.
Like photos like this are great because it shows the team in action, shows what you're doing. Like, I think obviously the other one's better because if you can eliminate things, like I try to use a little bit of generative AI to remove some, like the trash cans.
Yeah, we'll
stuff
get
like
a
that.
different picture
Well,
for that.
right.
That's fine.
And this is just, again, that's where the site is really you're going to start to feel like it's polished and, you know,
But I like the movement. That's attractive to me.
yeah.
But
And
again, I'm not building the website for me, so I don't know.
well, still, I mean, I want to make sure that you guys like it, right? That's at the same time. I will always argue for content first, but at the same time, I realize that, you know, people buy on emotion. And if you don't like how something looks, I think I told you guys this story about how I had a client that said she hated this was so it was an agency hired me. I created this design, built the site, or created the layout, the designs, sent it to the agency. The agency loved it. They sat down with the client. The client said, I hated it.
Yeah.
Literally used that word, I hate it. She couldn't explain why, but I said, what did they say? The client kept saying, well, this red, this and that. I said, well, okay. I kind of read between the lines. I took the same layout. I changed it. Everything was red. I made it blue. That's the only, I didn't change the design. I didn't change copy. I changed
Filling up on small
Right.
details.
They took the same layout, took it to the client. Client said, I love it. From hate to love to changing from red to blue. So
Yeah.
those types of subjective things.
And I'm trying not to, yeah, like you said, don't get hung up on that stuff. Like I don't love the color, but whatever, like if you think the red's not the right color on our logo, we figure out what color it is. And then like, I could see that matching and everything, coexisting, with whatever that color that you think would be better up there.
So if you start to get into color psychology, which we can do that if you want to, there's a lot of times people will look at color psychology. If you look at things like trust, dependability, those are usually greens and blues, stuff like that. Then there's
Right.
colors of passion and intense. Like reds can be passion, it can also be stop or alert. So let me know if we need to get into color psychology for this, because then that
Right.
would
And
potentially
that's
change
why
that
I
color
don't,
palette.
I don't really like yellow personally, but like yellow is kind of like getting across, like to me, that's like
Mhm.
action. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you see a lot of food industries use yellow too. Yellow's supposed to simulate hunger too, like Subway,
Yeah.
everything's yellow, things like that. Okay, so
But the sage or whatever color that is, the green,
Mhm.
like to me, that fits in with that background. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It fits in with those ladies' websites. It's something calm and
it's soft,
soft, and I don't want soft. I'm not soft.
perfect,
I want in your face.
bold,
like,
intense. Awesome. So far, I mean, are we headed in the right direction? I'll make sure I have the right feedback from you. So that I know what you do like or what you don't like. I mean, I know that you don't like the feminine touch. You want it to be a little more bold.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about copy, like making sure that some of that language is very direct about how we get in the trenches and do this stuff for you. Maybe updating some of that copy. ChatGPT can tend to be a little more conservative with some of that language.
Yeah.
So definitely update it to feel more aggressive if you feel, and aggressive, I mean it in a positive way.
And we have different taglines and stuff that we've adopted. So like, just kind of updating those from, when it was an idea to like what we're actually saying now doing.
Yeah.
Um,
Are you good structure wise? That's the most important thing today. Structure.
I think so.
Okay.
And that's the part that I struggle with. So I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as from a layout perspective of flow, everything visually is there. Now we just need to get the words, the images, that photography, the colors, and then making sure that we're not missing anything, because I want to know, like, how do I guide the customer to what you want them to do?
Yeah.
I want to get the customer there. And I'm assuming that's going to be the get started. At the end of the day, that's what we want people to do. But you're going to have different target audiences, right? You're going to want to make sure you identify there's, you have a target audience for bookkeeping service might be different from business consulting. So,
Right. And it
well,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it can be. It can be the same people, but
Somebody might say, hey, I need all of this, right? And ultimately, that's like the ideal scenario.
we know what the problem is that we're trying to solve in the bookkeeping. Like, we're finding that out because we've signed clients on, so we know what their pain points are. So now, like, we can update that copy. You know what I mean? Like, we have just
Yeah.
every day we're learning more and more about who our target is and what they need. So, yeah. So we definitely have a better picture of what we're trying to achieve now.
Because people tend to be visual and emotional, it's once they start to see that, that's when it's like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now I'm really starting to like this.
Yeah.
So we're going to get there, but we have to get the structure and the content organized before we get there. Any feedback from you? Any questions?
No, I agree with the action. Because so those photos, like you said, we don't really have a lot of great photos. So those were just some stuff I took.
Yeah.
Screenshots and stuff like that.
But now,
And see, it works. Like,
now that we know what we need to fill in where, we can.
Absolutely.
see this? That is not,
That's
it does
he's
not
doing
look like a
something.
stock photographer.
Right.
stock
He's
photo,
actually
and it's
doing
not.
something too.
Right. He's a deep thought. He's actually working, and it doesn't look staged.
Right.
And so we don't want it to look staged.
Right.
But at the same time,
But we also need to make sure that we're moving the Orca cooler out of the back and like
This type of stuff to clean
the
it up.
cooler like
This-
in the back
This
corner.
wasn't the Modelo.
Yeah,
The
right.
kitchen.
and I can use generative AI to remove a lot of stuff that's in there. If you find something you want it removed, just let me know. I can get it removed. Please send me the details of what you want fixed on that logo. I'll take care of it. So you're not worried about that.
Right.
So
You
change-
told me. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, well,
I like the logo, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not tied to the colors. I'm not really tied to anything. So whatever you think needs to be tweaked on it. Let's see, like if we move that character, if we put that character right beside that character, you'll see that that black's very different than that black. And that's
Oh,
really
yeah.
all we need.
I'll fix
It's
it.
just that. I just need the,
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. The shades of black to be consistent.
yeah.
Transparent backgrounds. Absolutely.
A question is like, do we need to change Jen's character to give her legs since the other two have legs? Or is it okay that hers is
Well-
just a body, you know,
Yeah.
or a torso? Like stuff like that.
Well,
I
what's,
don't know.
what's interesting was that's where I was going to think a second ago when I said pull it up. I wanted to see how, like, if it makes sense that all the characters are the same. Where you have, do you want to have the torso? So what tells me Monopoly is the fact that he's that stance. Also, he's got the bag, but that stance is in the hat.
Yeah.
It says Monopoly, right?
Right.
But your character is the only character. The Monopoly character, I just say your character, but the Monopoly character is the only one that is going to be recognizable because it's the only one
And
that's
that's
actually
fine, yeah.
right. So I think that
Because
that's
essentially, at the end of the day, I am the brand, so I have to adapt that or adopt that. But at the same time, they are too, you
Yeah.
know, supporting characters.
you see how I already fixed that link.
Yeah.
Like so,
But they need to be consistent. Are they appealing? Like that's the stuff I need help with. I'm not a brand designer. Like I got the idea that I'm looking for. Now, if you think it needs tweaked or adjusted, like I got tired of fighting with AI, you know, to get exactly what I wanted.
if you want my feedback on things like that, I'm happy to do it or fix it and get it right.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right. We'll be
All right.
done because we got to get it done.